We don't go and tell the lion to stop victimizing the deer. Then why are you telling me to stop victimizing the dog? I don't believe in karma, but I'll try to address the earlier point.
So heartless. That's so heartless.
Would like to ask you that from time to time we see on social media that dogs are abused. We see those ghastly videos on social media where a person is hitting a dog with a brick, stone, right? So what do you think of such issues?
What I feel is like, just they are also a part of this nature. So like how you treat your kids, you can obviously not treat them, but at least do not disrespect them or harm them, because God has created them also. So as if you have a right to stay in this earth, they also have. So like, be in your own world and don't destroy others' peace.
I would like to tell that it is bad.
They're not even, educated that you shouldn't hurt another species out there, another, being out there. And they just, to remove the entire frustration, they hit them with some rocks and with the, with the sandals, or they just throw something, to them, and which is so not cool.
It can't express his hurt or feelings, okay?
They do express, they shout and scream,
Yeah,
right?
but people don't understand that.
People ignore that.
Ignore it. And the same way how we get hurt, even it gets hurt, we should be treating it the same way like a human too.
If you see someone abusing a dog, let's say in front of your eyes, then what would be your reaction in that?
And stop them immediately. And
That's very brave of you.
yeah.
Let's say there's a person who abuses dog. For the sake of this conversation, assume it's me, right? I'm not, but that's just an assumption. And I'm willing to reason with you that why I should not be cruel to dog. If you can convince me, right? So then what will you tell me as an individual? Like if you're meeting a dog abuser, what will you tell the person?
Probably I would definitely talk to him, and I would find, what's been wrong, to actually look at a being and to have a different, to have a different perspective. Like, what do you feel about that particular innocent being? Why do you want to hit them or abuse them, or to do any sort of cruel thing?
I'll answer that question.
Yes.
And then you can counter question me that there are majorly two reasons.
Yes.
First is that I derive pleasure out of hitting the dog. Secondly, I think since I am the apex predator, stronger and smarter than a dog, or for that matter any other animal, hence I participate in doing this.
But see, you are hurting a human. I mean, not a human, a living being. So, what do you get pleasure in that?
I mean,
Just
I get some fun.
sources where you can fetch for your pleasure. You can go ahead with that. Why you only need to hurt some living being without, talk, which can't talk? Why do you want to do that? You can choose some other options instead.
So I think that's a very fair point. What I think is that even if I hurt them, there is nothing wrong with it. Why I say so is because even in the wild, we see that a lion abuses or kills a deer, right?
Yes.
We don't go and tell the lion to stop victimizing the deer.
Yeah.
Then why are you telling me to stop victimizing the dog?
So, what is the difference between you and a dog? A dog has brain. You have brain. Do they have intellect? No. You have an intellect. You can think. You can process. You can further decide. You can have that
Difference
decision.
between me and a lion, you're saying?
Yeah. In general, any animal. They cannot think. They cannot. They are only.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, they're only in a way to feed themselves, and it's just So you, at least if you're in a hunger, if you're in pain, if you're in suffering, you can process that. You can think what ways I can do it. So if you're seeking a pleasure out of actually hitting a dog or any animal or something, you're going against the human policy.
That is a wildlife this thing where we can't keep that in control. And here, being educated, being a human, you should know what is correct, what is wrong.
Essentially, as a human, I have the intellect and the moral framework to decide what's right and wrong.
Yes.
Whereas a lion doesn't have that framework, so hence we are not telling the lion.
Nobody teaches a lion how to lead a life.
That's a very fair point. You are doing a great job, by the way, of convincing me, right? I have few other points. Let's see if you can convince me on that.
Dude, even I have the opportunity to stay in this earth. Even they have. So maintain your peace and their peace. What is the need of even harming them or doing something wrong to them if they are not troubling you, for that matter?
And karma eventually.
Yeah, even karma is there. If you do something bad to them, what if your death is by them only?
So I don't believe in karma, but I'll try to address the earlier point where you
should
said,
then.
yeah, maybe, but
Start doing it.
maybe I'll do that. But for now, I don't believe. I'm not a very religious person or a spiritual person for that matter. So I'll stick to logic for now. And you said there is no need to do that, right? Let's say my need is to derive some sort of pleasure from it. Like I get pleasure out of hitting dogs.
So heartless.
Sorry?
So
So
cruel.
heartless,
That's
I
so
swear.
heartless.
That's so heartless and cruel.
Go to a consultant. You have some
Therapist.
therapist you need. Yeah.
Okay, fine, I'll take that advice. I have another point though. Let's say I'm killing the dog and then eating the dog. So it's now becoming my nutritional source. Then is it justified?
No, it is not justified. There are many things which you can have. I don't think dog is the necessity to have.
Okay.
See, there are many things which is already on regular basis of having things. Like I can namely tell chicken, mutton. I think even cow they use, and which is
So
not.
then what is the relevant? So are you saying that it is okay to eat a chicken but not a dog?
I'm not telling that. See, chicken are basically from the very beginning. It is told that it is for the savior. Okay, so dog, I don't think so. It has a necessity to come to that line of chain.
Yeah, but then again, what is the difference? Like, if someone is eating chicken, like you said, it's not a necessity to eat a dog. It's not a necessity to eat a chicken also.
Grown for it. They do poultry. Okay, and we don't breed dogs for having it.
That's a very valid point. So what I'll do is that a slightly changed scenario. What I'll do is I'll get two dogs, a male and a female. I'll ensure that they mate, and then the new babies that are born, I am bringing them into existence for my consumption. Then is it justified?
No, why do you have to do that? That's
you
what
just
I
said-
asked you, like, see, chicken is basically for eating, where they do poultry for eating only.
So poultry means bringing chicken into existence for eating. We can do the same kind of a business with dog as well, right?
See, I can say you in China and all, there is like this system. Okay.
I can start in India also.
No, why do you have to do that? India is completely a different kind of country where we follow this, what do you tell? We see the sentiments of things, we see
But
the...
we are not seeing the sentiments of chickens. Then I'm just trying to be like, I'm not against chickens or dogs. I'm just trying to be consistent with my choice. Either I should not be fine with killing either of those animals, or I should be
And
fine.
also we can transform everything into plantarians
Plant-based.
and plant-based and something like vegan. Something can be done like that instead of having even the chicken and mutton and everything.
We are more dominant towards dogs. We are more dominant. So that dominant, thing is that controlling ability is there. There is no caring ability. There is no control. I mean, there's only controlling ability. There's no caring ability at all. So you need to rejuvenate.
In
that.
whom? In dogs or?
In definitely human beings. So you should have that caring factor in you, so that you're so kind and neutral towards the species out there in general.
I loved your choice of words. Essentially, you are saying that if I have the capacity
Yeah.
to exercise dominion,
Yes.
but I also have the capacity to exercise compassion, so I should choose compassion. And I should not only be not cruel to them, like I can be neutral to them,
Yeah,
right?
neutral.
But I should not harm them. That's
Exactly.
that's
It's just minding of your own business.
minding
It's
your
just
own business,
minding
right?
your own business.
Try
You
to
don't
be
have
neutral to them. Don't harm
Exactly.
them.
Don't
So
harm
that's a very valid point. I take that. I'm saying that okay, I hurt a dog, and after hurting the dog or killing the dog, I'll eat the dog. Then
Dog.
I mean, I've not seen the macronutrients in a dog flesh, but I'm assuming that there would be some protein in it.
Recent study, then I like to quote you that people have studied that you should stop eating non-vegetarian because you don't know from where they are coming, what nutrition they have, what disease they have. It can transmit to you also. So that's why that's the main reason people are like shifting towards vegan these days. So that's what I like to tell you that.
That's a very good point, but that is from the perspective of the person that you are saying that one should not consume animal flesh because it can cause you harm because you don't know the source of it. So I'll again slightly change the situation. Let's say I'm taking care of the dog. That is, I'm keeping the dog very clean. I'm ensuring that the dog has been given all the vaccines and stuff, so that I am 100% sure that I'll not get any disease from the dog. So I've taken that disease and the health part out of it. Then is it justified for
You
me?
don't have any right to like consume an animal or destroy their peace and their life. Yeah. Or hurt an animal. And just for your peace, and you're like, I feel good with this dog, so I'll take it home. I'll take care of it. And rest, the street dogs, you're like, two, go out.
No, but
Don't come.
my behavior is neutral towards the fancy dogs as well. I'm saying that I'm willing to hurt them and then eat them. So there is a purpose associated with it right now.
No. I don't support your.
Why? But I get it. You don't support. But why?
Why, in the sense, why the person wants to harm people?
Why the person? What is wrong with a person killing a dog and then eating the dog flesh?
That's just
See,
inhuman.
you are human. You understand your benefit, okay? It's wrong for your health. Don't consume.
But let's say
Be
it,
selfish.
But let's say if we come to know that it's healthy, and that's why I said that if I'm sure that there's a certain dog who's free from all the diseases and there will be no health repercussion for me, in that case, does it become justified for me? Yeah, and why not? That's
You
what
got healthier options, bro. Why do you want to go to a dog only?
Okay.
You got healthier options. Go search in like vegetables, meals like some lentils or something like that. Why do you want to go to animals only?
Okay. So yeah, that's a fair point. I think more than health because I have that option. So why hurt an animal, right? Yeah. Okay.
Imagine some.
Alternative which is free from cruelty. Is that the point, right? I have an alternative option which is free from cruelty. So I should opt for that, right?
Imagine tomorrow God creates some different creature which is like superior to us, and they'll start eating us. What will you feel?
I'll feel really bad.
Then,
Yeah. And hence I should behave the same way with dogs as
and
well.
then people will start promoting save humans, save humans, save humans. So same way.
Why do we have to see them differently when they are both capable of feeling pain and suffering? Everything that you said so far is applicable to a chicken as well.
Yeah, I agree with it, but see, we can't stop all the humans not to have non-veg, right? So any one option we can
Then
give.
why are you stopping a dog abuser? They can also continue abusing dog.
Abusing is different, and something what you told, killing is different. Completely.
Abusing, okay, I can use the term killing. Why are you stopping a person to kill a dog?
See, if you ask me like this, I can't give you a fair answer because even chicken feels a hurt.
That's a very right term you used, that you can't give a fair answer because there is no fair answer.
Yes.
Yeah, we on one side we are speaking up for dogs, on the other side we are subjecting chicken to an unfair treatment
That's true.
and an injustice, right?
When it comes to cruelty, like there are people, the meat eaters especially, I'm just not labeling them meat eaters or something, I'm just defining, using as a soft term, right? So it's against human, complete human policies or something, that you cannot kill other, species out there and like make a food out of it.
Yeah,
Like
right.
you can sustain with the vegetarian food as well.
I read recently somewhere that plants are also capable of feeling pain.
Yeah.
So then what is the difference between eating a plant and eating a dog?
That is our food. God has created plants for us, like the way God has created a deer for a lion.
But
That is justified. That is justified.
but like I don't, like again I said I'm not a religious person. So
Okay, then let's not talk about God only.
Life
If you talk about science also,
Yeah.
food chain, what you study in food chain, it says like a deer is meant to be eaten by a lion.
But food chain is dominion of one species on another species by the virtue of their strength or intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So I am smarter than a dog. I can include dog in a food chain.
No, talk about your species. No, if dog is not considering you, why are you considering a dog?
Okay,
They
so
don't include you in their food cycle, so why are we considering them in our food cycle?
that's a very interesting point. I think what you are referring to is that of the notion of consent, that I do not have a consent from a dog to eat a dog, right? But then again, I do not have a consent from an apple also.
that's very fishy to answer and ask.
It sounds illogical, right?
Yeah, it's illogical.
Actually, I'm just pushing it. Actually, it's an illogical. In fact, plants do not feel pain. It's a wrong notion. They have life. There is no proof which says that plants feel pain. They are not sentient beings. When I talked about lions, you said they do not have the thinking capacity. But we have the thinking capacity to understand what's a fair treatment and what's an unfair treatment, right? So then I would like to build up on this further, and I would say that people should not eat chickens. People should not kill and eat chickens.
Yeah, that will also be a great point, I can tell. Because yeah, that's also a fair thing what we are doing. Even that is a human, I mean, living being.
So now that I am in a stage, it's been like 2 years now that I just, I'm like completely vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah, I tried vegan for a while, but now I'm like completely veg.
Okay.
So that's somewhere, it's making justice for my own existence first and then for the nature.
Congratulations to both of you that I'll not abuse a dog, because I think the reason.
Congratulate ourselves that you're convinced at least. A bit also, it's fine.
So just a slightly different question than we talked about dogs, right? What do you think about chickens?
In what sense?
In the same sense, like
I said no. I said they shouldn't be harmed.
they shouldn't be harmed.
Yeah, they have their own predator like to eat them. Why do you want to go there?
So like how you are against dog cruelty, you're also against chicken cruelty.
Yeah.
In the same.
Yeah,
Same?
I'm actually in a opposite of this topic that you should not harm any single animal.
Okay.
Like be it an ant also.
Yeah.
Being an ant also, you shouldn't harm them.
Then are you a vegan, because you used the term earlier? Are you a vegan?
I am. I'm not vegan, but I'm vegetarian. I do consume milk products,
Okay.
dairy and all.
Okay. And how about you? You're a non-vegetarian. So I'll come to you also, but just a quick question here. If you're a non-vegetarian, whatever you were saying for dogs is also true of chickens, right? So as non-vegetarians, do you think it's a hypocrisy on our part when we behave differently towards different animals?
Yeah. Because see, it's not like we have to treat like people say you have to treat everyone equally. I feel that also what do you call applies to chickens and dogs. But yeah,
Like
but
this is how they are treated from the very beginning. They were born. They're like, eat chicken. It's good. It's this.
I know,
It's
I know.
that.
We have been habituated in a certain way, but then as
So it's
we
your,
gain.
what I think is your duty to teach your like coming generations that you shouldn't harm them, and you should move towards what is meant to be for you, and not destroy anything else. Like eat and consume only things that is meant for you and not anything else.
And before we teach someone else or the other generation, I think it's very important for us to learn,
us to
right? So as an individual, do you think you should shift away from animal flesh?
Even though she answers yes, no, I'm telling no.
no, the thing is that I'm half what do you call
Vegetarian and
no, half convinced. I'm like
oh, you're halfly
half-
convinced towards vegetarians. And
yeah, halfly convinced towards.
And what's the other half? Why are you not convinced?
the temptation.
No, it's like once you eat it, like it's become everybody likes non-vegetarian.
Yeah, that's desire, right? And desire is a very dangerous justification to abuse and inflict pain and suffering on someone, right? So then again, coming back to you, right? That do you think you will quit animal flesh because someone is suffering because of your direct choices?
Maybe not now. Maybe in the future. Maybe shift to a vegan side.
Maybe you vegan side.
Vegetarian.
Vegan is enough.
I'll come to that point. Okay, so you think that you will shift in future, right? So what I'll request you to do is, I'll request a little bit later. First, I'll talk to her. You said you are a vegetarian, not a vegan. What is the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan?
So like restraining from, dairy.
Dairy products. And why vegans restrict from dairy products?
Basically the production industry, like the milk or like the dairy industry or something. It's more of I do not have much
Yeah, that's
knowledge on vegan or something.
Do you know the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian?
Vegan is like you completely quit the products that's coming from animal.
Why do they quit animal products like dairy?
See, they have it's coming from like animal. The milk is like harmonized, like it's coming from a living body. So it have different kind of cells and maybe lactose or something like that, which can harm people or something like that. So it's like either if you want to be a vegetarian, shift to vegan. Like completely you go to vegan side. And if you're taking like eggs or something, milk, dairy products, it is not properly vegan side. Like
No, I'll tell you what vegan is. So a vegan is someone who doesn't consume any animal derived product because there is cruelty in that product. So even dairy they do not consume because there is cruelty in dairy, right? It's not because of their health, but because of the cruelty that is taking place in the dairy industry. So are you aware of the cruelty in the dairy industry?
not like majorly, but kind of, yes.
That in fact, on the value side, you speak someone like a vegan, right? Because you are completely against animal cruelty that I have established so far, right? Then a vegan is someone who is against animal cruelty. They reject the commodity status in terms of anything. And then I specifically talked about dairy because from food perspective, that is the major difference between a vegetarian and a vegan. Yeah. On the consumption side, otherwise veganism is an ethical stand. Being a vegetarian is just a diet. But then why are they not consuming dairy products is something that we need to know, that because dairy is inherently cruel.
Yeah, it's definitely it is.
Are you aware of the dairy cruelty?
Yeah, like as I said, like the production, like since there is like a lot of people consuming dairy, supposedly milk or like whatever.
Even if a lot of people don't consume, I'll take like 30 seconds to explain the dairy, and then I'll give you a resource card which has a certain documentary listed on it, which is on YouTube. You can watch it for free, which talks about the Indian dairy industry, right? So that is also very cruel. First and foremost, that milk is not for us. We are stealing the milk of the baby. Secondly, they are subjected to continuous cycles of pregnancy. Thirdly, how they are made pregnant. They are forcefully bred, right? They are forcefully impregnated, right? And then what is happening to the male calves? What is happening to the mothers once they can't give milk? And India happens to be one of the
Major
largest,
exporter of.
very true, major exporter of both
One
beef
side
and
we just
leather.
pray cows like it's very holy, it's very this, and one side we are the major exporter of cows and beef.
I, from a non-vegetarian, I got converted to a vegetarian. Slowly, I stayed for about 6 months vegan. I tried 6 months vegan, and later, there was this urge of, taking dairy products back again.
No, I get your point that you were a non-vegetarian and then you became a vegetarian, so you are thinking that you have done some shift there, which is also commendable because you took that step. But when you consume dairy products and then you think from the perspective of an individual victim in the dairy industry who's being abused directly because of your choices, right? Then your relationship with that animal is that animal is the victim and you are the perpetrator, right? Of course, you are paying someone else to do the dirty work on your behalf, right?
Their benefit, they are just harming animals also these days.
For our benefit,
Yeah,
actually.
for our benefit.
And that's why I said that you talked about vegan.
Honestly talking, the companies don't think of our benefits first. They think about their benefits first.
In this case, because of our choices, an innocent being is subjected to so much of abuse, then I think it becomes our moral obligation first. Of course, I'm not saying that the companies are good, but I think as individual, it becomes our moral obligation to not to participate in this form of cruelty.
What I feel is, obviously it's a very vast topic, and if you start educating everybody, it'll take a long time. So, go hand in hand. Educate people also and stop this thing.
True. Very true. That's a very good strategy to have both the bottom-up approach where you are educating individuals and also have a top-down approach where you are pushing the industries to be more just and fair, right? So that is, coming back to the earlier topic, that is the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan. So now you are aware, like how I asked her to move away from animal flesh. I'll ask you, do you think you will become a vegan because you are aware of this animal cruelty?
Actually, I'm shifting towards vegan these days. I'm not consuming like half of the dairy products. It's like paneer or something is only the product I'm consuming these days.
But that is also coming from same source, so I'm hoping that in future you will shift to a vegan. Do you think you will be able to change your lifestyle to becoming a vegan?
Can, obviously, because when it is hurting someone, I don't want to continue that. I can change into a vegan for it.
Yeah, and it's very easy to be a vegan today in India, in a city like Bangalore. And you used the term fair earlier, and I think that's the crux of the discussion, that the way we treat them is an injustice to them. Yeah.
I agree with you.
So thank you so much. What I'll do is I'll share some resource cards. You're aligned on why to go vegan. That card and that resource will help you on how to go vegan.
Definitely. So I'll look into it, and I'm glad that you stopped me and you said about this.
So my humblest request to both of you is that please do read up on it. You are already well initiated. You're already learned on the subject. But then there's that action side, right? That we have to know something in theory is one thing, but we should also apply it in our life, especially when we know that someone is subjected to injustice because of our direct choices, right? So my humblest request.
For education is important. No, if you're educated, you'll go to a good path, the right path.
Yeah. So I hope you both go on the right
I
path.
appreciate your work you're doing, like educating people.